What is up, YouTube? It's your boy 47 and I'm back with another one. Yes. Oh boy. See, today we have something a little different, as you see on the title, right? No music today. Just for today, I guess. I don't know. So I was going to start another channel for this, right? Haven't had the time, so I figured why not do it on here, right? A buddy of mine, the same buddy, recommended me I reacted to this. So with this video, I will be getting a little political, right? Obviously. However, I will give you a heads up. Just because I have a certain opinion on something does not mean that we have to fight or argue. I'm letting you know whatever I see here, I'm going to put my own opinion on it. I guess that's what you're watching. So take it how you want to take it. I'm not here to pussyfoot around or anything. I'm not here to look out for anybody's feelings. This is my channel. I'm going to speak whatever I want to say. You know what I mean? If you don't like it, you keep it moving. And if you enjoy it, I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Now, I'm going to leave it as that. That is my warning. Whatever I say here, if it's too much for you to handle, then, you know, you're a click away or a press away from just leaving my video. And, you know, if you don't get offended easy, cool. Because that's just how I am. That's how I was born. You know what I mean? I'm a millennial. So, you know what I mean? Best of the best, I feel like, in my opinion. So, let's get into this, man. Today we have, apparently it's called The Inconvenient Truth About the Democratic Party. Never seen it. First time watching it. My buddy said you have to see this. You have to react to this. I'm like, why not? So with that said, let's get it started, man. Let's see what this is about, all right?
When you think about racial equality and civil rights, which political party comes to mind? The Republicans or the Democrats? Most people would probably say the Democrats, but this answer is incorrect. Since its founding in 1829, the Democratic Party has fought against every major civil rights initiative and has a long history of discrimination.
Before we keep going, I'm going to go ahead and put my 2 cents on that. Agreed. No, I am not a Democrat. So, okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Let's pull the rabbit out the hat. Let's what's that other saying? Take the cat out of the bag. I don't know. I heard something like that. I don't know. Okay, so I'm not a Democrat, but that doesn't mean that I don't agree with everything, right? I'm like 50-50. I try to collaborate with everybody, right? That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be united, right? So, little story about me. All right. I was a Democrat. Well, I wasn't a Democrat. Let's just say when I was young, I would lean more into those beliefs, right? That's what I believed. Not just because, so a lot of people say you're brainwashed, right? No, it's more of like personal experiences, right? So I have had personal experiences that have been bad, you know, when it comes to police, when it comes to my white folks, you know what I mean, things like that. Even black people, even Mexican people. So I've had my encounters, but when you have everybody telling you that, you know, because she's speaking on racial stuff, right? When you have everybody telling you at the same time and music telling you, oh, yeah, they're trying to put you down and this and that, of course you're going to be thinking about it like, you know what, maybe they're right. And I'm not saying they're wrong completely because, you know, you got your assholes out there. That's probably going to get me demonetized. I don't care. You got your people that really don't care. But see, I don't want to get into this whole nother thing, right? But that's what I grew up believing. That was my belief system when I was young. Because I was young. When you're young, you're stupid. You don't really think about your consequences, your actions, everything you're doing, right? You just want to live life. As I grew older, I became more in the middle. I was a libertarian, right? I think that's what I was. I don't know. I was like in the in-between, right? But I was leaning more to the left, right? As I kept starting seeing things, I started realizing, hold on a minute. Let me do my own research for actually once and instead of being told what to believe. Because to be honest, that's what I felt like. Like I was told what I should believe, and that's not fair to me. You know what I mean? I gotta do justice. I gotta do myself justice. So I was like, let me go and research some shit. And I did. I started doing my own research because trust me, I was never a Trump supporter when he came out for his first term, right? I was completely against it. Let's just say towards the end of his first term, I started changing my mind. I'm not going to get into more of my, beliefs, but I will get into this part because I used to call Trump so many names. Don't get me wrong, my family can't stand Trump. And we argue all the time. Well, they want to argue all the time with me. I'm not here to argue. So I'm just going to give you the facts, take them or leave, and that's on you. That's what a man's supposed to do. So, people get stuck in that mentality, especially when they're older or younger. But when you're in the middle, your mental capacity is starting to think a little bit more. You know what I mean? So you're like, okay, was I deceived or not? Type thing, right? So that's how I am today. Today, I feel I have been deceived by the left this whole time. Now that I realize that nobody's putting a gun to my head for anything, right? Yes, I've had bad experiences in the past. That's just evil. That's just good and evil. That's all it is. It's a battle between good and evil, right? So that doesn't mean everybody's like that, right? So even I at one point wanted to become a police officer. Honest truth. Now I didn't get in, not because I couldn't hack it. I can, but it's other details on why they didn't pick me. I think there was better candidates. It's cool. Yeah, I mean that's all it was. Like me thinking I was young, I was stupid. People telling me, yeah, they hate you. They're better than you. That's practically what they told me, that they was better than me. They thought they was better. No, I don't think that. Why would I think that? That's actually racist, right? So towards myself and towards them. So I don't think that way no more, right? So with that being said, yes, I consider myself a conservative, right? Which is crazy because my culture is conservative. So that's another whole nother topic. I don't want to get into the hypocritical side of certain people. I'm not going to name any names. But yes, I am a conservative since the end. Well, I don't want to say since the end of the first term from Trump, but since right after that, a little bit after that, because that's when I was waking up. That's when I actually woke up. After woke crap. I actually awoke. Awoke is my term. Leave woke out the door and use awoke for those that came out of that brainwash period and know what the real truth is. That's where I'm at. So I don't want to blah 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 you too much and bore you to death, right? That was just my story. Let's get back into the video.
Democratic Party defended slavery, started the Civil War, opposed Reconstruction, founded the Ku Klux Klan, imposed segregation,
That is all
perpetrated lynchings,
Look it
and
up.
fought against the Civil Rights Acts of the 1950s and 1960s.
And don't come at me with the party switch, because that's not you got that wrong.
In contrast, the Republican Party was founded in 1854 as an anti-slavery party. Its mission was to stop the spread of slavery into the new Western territories with the aim of abolishing it entirely. This effort, however, was dealt a major blow by the Supreme Court in the 1857 case Dred Scott versus Sandford. The court ruled that slaves aren't citizens, they're property. The 7 justices who voted in favor of slavery, all Democrats. The 2 justices who dissented, both Republicans. The slavery question was, of course, ultimately resolved by a bloody civil war.
Now, before we get into any further in the video, I do want to mention something funny, something hypocritical from the left, right? So no, so it has to do with what she actually just said, right? What she actually just said was the Democrats were for slavery because they were complaining, who's going to collect the crops? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? You know what I mean? How are we going to handle our farms and all that crap they had, right? Instead of actually wanting to pay people because free labor, right? So now that you think about it today, they're all worried about oh, if we deport everybody, who's gonna do this? Who's gonna do that? Who's gonna pick apples? That's kind of racist. As much as I don't really believe in that word anymore, that's kind of racist, right? Why do you feel like those people? Why do you feel like that's all they deserve, right? You're the ones claiming to protect them and feel like they deserve better. Why do you only put them at that level where they need to be picking stuff? Am I waking you up here? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about. They're still at it till this day. So,
Commander in chief during that war was the first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, the man who freed the slaves. 6 days after the Confederate Army surrendered, John Wilkes Booth, a Democrat, assassinated President Lincoln. Lincoln's vice president, a Democrat named Andrew Johnson, assumed the presidency. But Johnson adamantly opposed Lincoln's plan to integrate the newly freed slaves into the South's economic and social order. Johnson and the Democratic Party were unified in their opposition to the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery, the 14th Amendment, which gave blacks citizenship, and the 15th Amendment, which gave blacks the vote. All three passed only because of universal Republican support.
boom.
During the era of Reconstruction, federal troops stationed in the South helped secure rights for the newly freed slaves. Hundreds of black men were elected to Southern state legislatures as Republicans, and 22 black Republicans served in the U.S. Congress by 1900. The Democrats did not elect a black man to Congress until 1935. But after Reconstruction ended, when the federal troops went home, Democrats roared back into power in the South. They quickly reestablished white supremacy across the region with measures like black codes, laws that restricted the ability of blacks to own property and run businesses, and they imposed poll taxes and literacy tests used to subvert black citizens' right to vote. And how was all of this enforced? By terror, much of it instigated by the Ku Klux Klan, founded by a Democrat, Nathan Bedford Forrest. As historian Eric Foner, himself a Democrat, notes, in effect, the Klan was a military force serving the interests of the Democratic Party. President Woodrow Wilson, a Democrat, shared many views with the Klan. He resegregated many federal agencies and even screened the first movie ever played at the White House, the racist film The Birth of a Nation, originally entitled The Klansman. A few decades later, the only serious congressional opposition to the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1964 came from Democrats. 80% of Republicans in Congress supported the bill, less than 70% of Democrats did. Democratic senators filibustered the bill for 75 days until Republicans mustered the few extra votes needed to break the logjam. And when all of their efforts to enslave blacks, keep them enslaved, and then keep them from voting had failed, the Democrats came up with a new strategy. If black people are going to vote, they might as well vote for Democrats. As President Lyndon Johnson was purported to have said about the Civil Rights Act, I'll have them voting Democrat for 200 years.
Damn.
So now, the Democratic Party...
Damn. How does them apples taste now? Hopefully you're watching this. Hopefully those that need to watch this should be watching this. I hope, man, a lot of y'all need to really wake up. I feel so sorry for y'all. Y'all don't realize how much fear-mongering, how much actual racism is being spewed to you by that party, right? Man, I feel sorry for y'all, and it's crazy because they show this all over the world to make them hate America, right? And a lot of those people, so I keep in touch, right? So I'm also Peruvian, right? So I keep in touch with, Peruvian news and all that good stuff, right? To see what's going on over there. And I'm telling you, when I tell people the actual truth, because they think a lot of people here, that's they're actually racist because they're not focused on anything else but what they're told here on certain stuff, right? I keep in touch with everything. So I'll be watching news over there, and they tell everything that Trump is fixing here right now, they want to do over there, right? Right? So every policy he's doing here, they actually agree on, except for the president of Peru, because nobody likes her, nobody wants her. She's a communist. We're trying to get her out, right? They're trying to get it out. Excuse me. So, but some of the news down there do report on the news up here with the views of the liberal news, right? Because that's what they're feeding out the most. They're blocking any actual facts, and they're just spewing fear mongering all over the world. So when I see that, I go to the comment section. Let me tell you how happy I am to see fellow Peruvians down there know that that's a lie. Because all of them comment, I don't know what y'all talk about. Trump is a good president from what I'm seeing. He's even collaborating with President Bukele from El Salvador. And that's another thing. President Bukele from El Salvador is one of the best presidents ever. How can you spew hate on that guy? He saved the whole country from being murdered, raped, killed, all that stuff. Like, from the MS-13. Like, and so much more. But now you got the liberal media hating. That's racist. Leave that country alone. Let it fix itself. What is so wrong with that? He even said so. And they're helping us. So I don't see anything wrong with that. But though, they want to keep fear-mongering everybody in the world. Boom, boom, this, blah, blah. However, you do have your good news. But they're hard to find over there, right? Unless they're reporting on that country's stuff. And not being fed the bullcrap by the liberal media. The extremist liberal media. So anyways, let's keep this going, man. I'm talking too much. This video is going to be too long.
Prospers on the votes of the very people it has spent much of its history oppressing. Democrats falsely claim that the Republican Party is the villain, when in reality, it's the failed policies of the Democratic Party that have kept blacks down. Massive government welfare has decimated the black family. Opposition to school choice has kept them trapped in failing schools. Politically correct policing has left black neighborhoods defenseless against violent crime. So when you think about racial equality and civil rights, which political party should come to mind? I'm Carol Swain, professor of political science and law at Vanderbilt University for Prager University. Thanks for watching. To keep our video.
All right. So first and foremost, I want to apologize for my allergies. They're acting up like crazy. Second, I want to apologize for how long this video is because of the whole story thing I told you. And I don't want to get into any more stories. I just want to be straight into the video. Video was great to watch. Great watch. I recommend everybody watching that. Everybody needs to watch that, especially those that are brainwashed, right? Now, it's going to take a minute because they're so brainwashed and brain rot that they're not going to realize they're being lied to yet. It took me a minute, I'm telling you, but I'm pretty smart, so I caught on like that, right? So, I appreciate you guys watching. Share the video if you like the video. Like the video if you like the video. Dislike the video if you hated it, obviously. Duh. Comment down below what you'd like me to react to next and what you thought about the video. What do you guys actually think about what she said? Are you with it or are you against it? Let me know what you gotta say in the comments down below. Turn on your notification bells and subscribe. I need y'all to subscribe. I get so many views from y'all, but you're not subscribing. Come on, guys. It's right there. Let's make it to 100 subscribers first, right? And let's keep this going. It's your boy 47. I'm out. Peace.